to joke and say that this is the only way he could get me to say nice things about him was to run for Congress and send me to meetings like this. But I'm here to tell you a little bit about TJ, why he's running, and why for the 16th Congressional District, and why we think he's a great candidate and the best candidate. And I will say it's very exciting, this is, for us. And it's, I think, to echo a little bit of what one of the others said earlier, it's great to have 6 candidates, kind of great to have 6 candidates, but it's really nice to see people motivated and energized and really wanting to make a change here in the 16th District. And earlier this week with Susan and the other candidates, we were in Medina at a forum, and it really is, you know, you've got 5 people on stage, and about 90% of what they're all saying is the same, and that, you know, being a Democrat, I guess it is, as Susan has said, and I know lifelong Democrats, and it's in your bones, it's in your blood, it's just in the way I think we're wired. And I think all of the candidates are really good, and it's great to see a number of them up, a number of candidates vying for this position, and we've just got to flip this district, please. So a little bit about TJ and why he's running, and I think the biggest thing is we're excited about the opportunity to have a voice. TJ's excited to be in a position and have this opportunity to speak for the people of Northeast Ohio who feels have really gone unheard and unheeded for far too long. You know, this is the House of Representatives, and TJ doesn't really think that the people of Northeast Ohio in this district and even the whole state of Ohio have been represented very well. And he wants to change that. His background is, and his base, going back to one of the questions this gentleman had to Susan, is how does he feel like he's going to do this, or why is he a good candidate for this? Is you know, we have a strong base. We come from a union family. We are, you know, TJ's tagline is Ohio's working class candidate, and that comes from years of being from a working class family, and being a working class person and in a working class family, and that's again one of those reasons that TJ's running, is to be a voice for working class people, people like my family. TJ and I are the 9th and 10th of 10 kids. That's a good thing about birth control. My father would say it was a different pope back then. And that was it. He never said any more. It took me a lot of years to figure out what that meant. So we are the 9th of 10 kids of Irish immigrants. And I will tell you, my parents worked hard for every dollar they earned. TJ and I have worked hard for every dollar we earned, and I continue to. But we have reaped the benefits of being able to move up and get a better job and take the next step and go to college and maybe go on and get a master's degree and own your own business. And that is all because we were able to do that, and that's all stagnated here in America. That has not, we're not seeing that anymore. We're not seeing people be able to move forward because of, you know, wages and benefit stagnation and all of the things that go along with, you know, just affordable health care. You know, all we really want is to have a good job, to pay our bills and have a house and put food on the table and not go bankrupt because our little kid breaks their leg playing outside in the tree, you know. That's what we want, and that's what TJ wants, and he wants to kind of fight for that again. TJ's background is, he was, went to St. Edward High School in Cleveland, or Lakewood, sorry, and went on to be a 310 laborer. We have been a union family. My dad was 45 years a laborer with 310. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, waited tables while she got her real estate license. And then TJ went on to open his own business as an insurance broker and an insurance and investment broker. And he was living in Ireland these last, from 2012 to 2017, working in that business, but also working for the Democratic Party. He was the chair of Democrats Abroad there, and what that organization did was mobilize and engage and register Americans living overseas to vote, keeping them educated, engaged, informed about what was happening over here, so that they could play a part in their democracy. And while TJ was there, he had a lot of this pushback during the 2016 election of what's going on in America. How on earth is President Trump, A, the nominee for the Republican Party, and B, how on earth did he just win this election? And that really motivated TJ to say, I don't know, but that's not my country. He said, that's not where I'm coming from. That's not the values that every person I know believes in and has. And a lot of people said if Trump won, they were moving out of America. And TJ said, if Trump wins, I'm moving back. And for him, it was a call to action to say, I need to make a change, and this is how I'm going to do it. So that's kind of why he's in this race. And I know I collectively keep saying we. I don't know if when your little sister that just kind of, I guess I tagged along for however many years. This is payback. Now I have to tag along. Yeah, so TJ, I think I gave you his background, union worker, small business owner. He's here now running for this seat. I think that his experience as somebody who's like everybody in this district really goes a long way. As I said, I think there's a lot of really, really good candidates in this primary. I don't think we have a bad one. It's just really about the best candidate, and it's about the best candidate who can win in November and who can compete with whatever they throw at us. We know they've got the dollars. We know they've outspent us already. They outspent us before January 1st. So we just have to bring the bigger army with a little bit more passion and a little bit more power and the feet on the ground, and really get in front of people and let them know that it's time for change and this is our time. I'll take some questions. Don't be too brutal. I won't be able to go into depth on a lot of things. You know, we could FaceTime TJ, but he's at another meeting somewhere up in the west side of Cleveland. Yes?
Well, I'll hit you with the same question I hit her with there. A poll and a plan. If you run anything that resembles a poll to give an idea of his viability, first of all in the primary, and secondly in the general election, and then secondly again, you know, you mentioned it, she mentioned it there, the Republicans are going down us beaucoup with dollars.
Sure.
How are we going to offset that? How are you going to get your message to the voters?
Well, I'll start with the first part. We have not run any sort of official poll, by calling it. We have not, what do you, set one up, or we have not been a part of one of any poll. I think we come from a place of having a strong base. When looking at this race last summer, obviously we weren't like, oh, hey, look, this looks like something we could do for the next year and a half. This will be fun. TJ really came, he sat down with a lot of organizations here, mostly union organizations. I mean, he is the labor candidate. He's endorsed by, the Cleveland Building Trades Council. He's endorsed by the Tri-County AFL-CIO. He's endorsed by the pipe fitters, the pipe coverers, the iron workers, the steel workers. He is the labor candidate in a sense. That has some teeth to it. It's a big, huge group of people that will, one, come out and vote. We know they're voters. And two, they will mobilize for us. So that was a little bit of our plan. That base, I mean, the west side of Cleveland isn't an insignificant space in this district. It's 40% of the population of the district. I think I might have to look to Susan and her team, but I'm almost positive.
You're right.
You're right. 40% of the population is up in Cuyahoga County, but that's 60% of the population that's here. That's down further south, a little bit west. I mean, we're going from Kent to Lorain County. everywhere under the sun. So we didn't jump into this blindly. We talked to a number of people and asked them at the beginning, if we did this, would you support us? Would we be able to count on you to get behind us financially, get behind us with people, and as I said, boots on the ground, because this is grassroots, and kind of just going on the strength of this. When TJ's born and raised in the district, we're on our third generation. My parents came over in 1954. We've been Westside Clevelanders since then. That's a little bit of really our strategy. The second part of your question?
You actually alluded there,
okay.
Touched that. That was, the number one was where do you stand, or where does his candidacy stand with respect to the others in the primary and the general election? The second part was how are you going to take your message to the voters? And you treated them.
Yeah, well, and I guess, the other thing, power in numbers. There's 10 of us. 10 of us kids. So I guess we start there, and we just get every one of them get another 10 or 20, and we got a good force just there. It's there. So that's how we're doing it. We're doing it. That's the way we're doing it. Yeah, sure. Sir, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
John Sheehan.
Hi, John. And yourself?
Andrew Toledo.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi. Actually, that's one thing I wanted to get your name for the minutes instead of TJ's sister.
Oh, well, thank you. You know what? It's about time. No, I'm Ann. A-N-N-E. A-N-N-E. Thanks for asking, yeah.
Okay, and your family sounds a lot like my family. We were auto workers in Detroit, and we sat around at the dinner table a lot, talking about work issues. Certainly, I'm going to ask sort of the same kind of question that I asked Susan. There's this pocket of progressivism, up on the west side of Cleveland, which is great. I love going up there because I live in Stark County, and 67% of Stark County voted for Donald Trump. We live in Trump County. You mentioned TJ's reaction to the election in November 2016. The pundits on TV on election night, their jaws actually dropped.
Literally.
Because Ohio went so early in the evening on election night. They just were flabbergasted.
Sure.
So we live in Trump County, Trump land, no doubt about it. As Democrats, what can we do, in your view, to take some of that labor and some of that energy from the west side of Cleveland and sort of transplant it into these other areas of this district and down this way?
Yeah. You know what? That's a great question, and I won't answer it as well as TJ would, because I've heard him answer a similar question in similar ways. But one of the things TJ will say, and he gets a couple people in a room like this to kind of raise their eyebrow, is that he knows the Trump voter, and you'd be surprised at the number of guys working on a job site are not Democrats. They're walking one walk and talking another walk. And he would say that they're reaping the benefits that Democrats are fighting for them.
Okay. For
benefits, for wages,
okay.
for that. But they're in the booth. They're pushing a different button.
Okay.
So I think TJ's an answer that he would have for that is to really kind of bring it down to, I don't want to say bring it down, explain it to me in layman's terms about what that really means when you're hitting that button. People don't see it. Maybe they see it as, oh, this is my farm, or I want to keep my guns, or I don't believe in birth control, or I don't believe in abortion, but you can't vote on one single issue. You just can't. I mean, look at me. I'm one of 10 kids from Irish Catholics from Ireland. I mean, I'm pro-choice, but clearly I'm pro-life. You know what I mean? You can be, but you don't have to be. If you're pro-choice, it doesn't mean you're anti-life. Right. There's gotta be some place in the middle to find that middle ground. And I think that's where TJ's going to hit on it. Is he's going to find that middle ground. He's going to find that thing and hope to find that thing in those Trump voters that they voted for Trump because they were fed up with the Clinton name. They were fed up with the Democratic Party that wasn't standing up and didn't have a spine and wasn't doing this, and that they're coming he's gonna come back and say, have you not seen the new Democratic Party? Have you not seen the fire that's been lit under them? He would bring up Connor Lamb in Pennsylvania 18 a couple weeks ago. I mean, he won that district that looks a lot like this district by what, 700 votes? And TG will tell you it's because of the United Mine Workers and the United Steel Workers. And you know, are we banking on that? Hell yeah, we're banking on that.
Okay.
We are.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you. Thank you.